The 2014 film John Wick revolutionized the action genre and established a new film franchise. Directed by Chad Stahelski and David Leitch, it stars Keanu Reeves as John Wick, a retired professional assassin forced to return to the world of crime after a devastating personal tragedy. The story begins with John living peacefully with his wife, Helen, played by Bridget Moynahan. This happiness is brutally interrupted when Helen dies of a terminal illness, leaving John completely devastated. Before her death, Helen arranges for a puppy to be delivered to John after the funeral, accompanied by a letter explaining that the animal should help him not grieve alone. This puppy, an adorable beagle named Daisy, becomes the last link to his deceased wife and his only source of comfort. The turning point comes when John meets Isf Tarasov, played by Alfie Allen, the son of Russian mafia boss Viggo Tarasov. Isf becomes fascinated with John's classic Mustang at a gas station and tries to buy it, but John politely declines. This refusal infuriates Isf, who decides to have the car at any cost. That same night, Isf and his cronies break into John's house, brutally beat him, steal the car, and, in an act of unnecessary cruelty, kill Daisy simply because she was barking. This event triggers catastrophic consequences because Viggo Tarasov, played by Michael Nyqvist, immediately recognizes the gravity of the situation when he discovers his son attacked John Wick. Viggo knows John's legendary reputation in the criminal underworld, where he is known as Baba Yaga, a name that inspires absolute terror. John was not just another criminal, but the most efficient and ruthless assassin who ever lived, someone who managed to get out of the business only by completing an impossible task for Viggo, eliminating all his rivals in a single bloody night. Viggo tries to explain to his son who John Wick is, telling the famous story of how he once killed 3 men in a bar with just a pencil, demonstrating that John can turn any ordinary object into a lethal weapon. Viggo understands that his son has awakened an uncontrollable force, and that the only way to protect the organization is to eliminate John before his campaign of revenge begins. The film presents a fascinating world of professional assassins that operates with their own rules, codes of honor, and payment systems. The Continental Hotel, run by Winston, Ian McShane, serves as a neutral ground where no violence is permitted and where assassins can rest and seek specialized services. This luxurious hotel acts as a sanctuary from the chaos of the criminal world. Marcus, played by Willem Dafoe, is a veteran assassin with a complex relationship with John, serving as both mentor and rival. When Viggo places a bounty on John's head, Marcus accepts the contract, but his true intentions remain ambiguous. Their relationship adds an important emotional layer, showing that even in the brutal world of assassins, bonds of friendship and loyalty exist. Ms. Perkins, played by Adrienne Palicki, is a ruthless assassin who also accepts the contract to kill John. She represents the new generation that doesn't necessarily respect the ancient traditions of the underworld. Her confrontation with John at the Continental breaks the sacred rules of the establishment, resulting in severe consequences that demonstrate how this world maintains order through ruthless punishments. The action scenes are choreographed with precision and realism that set new standards. Stahelski, with experience as a stunt coordinator, brought a unique approach using long takes that allow you to follow every movement. The shootout scenes clearly show John's tactical progression, demonstrating not only his deadly precision but also strategic intelligence. The Red Circle nightclub serves as the setting for one of the most memorable sequences. John infiltrates this establishment controlled by the Russian mafia in a sequence that combines pulsating music, dramatic neon lighting, and exceptional choreography. The way he moves through the different levels, methodically eliminating enemies while searching for ISF, demonstrates both professional competence and relentless determination. Keanu Reeves prepared intensively, training in martial arts, tactical shooting, and directing for months. This dedication is evident in every scene, where his physical performance conveys both lethal competence and emotional weight. Reeves manages to convey the profound pain of grief even during the most intense sequences, creating a protagonist who is at once a killing machine and a deeply human man. Viggo Tarasov is an antagonist who fully understands the impossible situation he finds himself in. Michael Nyqvist brings dignity to the truly embraces the role, portraying a man who genuinely loves his son but understands that Joseph's actions have doomed the entire organization. The father-son relationship adds an emotional dimension that goes beyond simple revenge, exploring themes of the consequences of actions and the price of family protection. The film deeply explores grief and how different people process loss. For John, violence becomes a way to channel the unbearable pain, a way to feel something other than the emptiness left by his wife's death. Daisy's death is not just about the baby, but about the destruction of the last vestige of hope and love John had. The film establishes a rich and detailed universe that would be expanded upon in subsequent films. The rules, traditions, and hierarchies of the assassin's world are introduced organically through action and dialogue, creating a fascinating mythology that feels authentic. The cinematography uses a distinct palette that ranges from cool blues and greens contrasted with vibrant reds and neon yellows. This visual choice creates a unique atmosphere, simultaneously stylized and dark, reflecting John's inner world and the stylized nature of violence. The film ends with John adopting a new puppy, suggesting that while revenge has been accomplished, the healing process has only just begun. This hopeful conclusion contrasts with the violence that dominated the narrative, offering the possibility of redemption even for someone who has plunged so deeply into darkness. 2014's John Wick is fundamentally a story about a man who has lost everything and uses the only skill he possesses to process his grief, creating a narrative that is at once a fantasy of empowerment and a tragedy about the limitations of violence as a form of emotional healing. The film manages to be both a classic revenge thriller and a modern reinvention of the action genre, setting new standards and creating an undeniable influence on subsequent cinema.